I'd like to introduce our next speaker, architect A. Shanmugam, who incepted Shanmugam Associates, which is a 40-year-old professionally managed architecture and design firm having offices in Trichy and Chennai. With a huge clientele, rich international experience in the field, and exploration into various typologies, architect Shanmugam is a pioneer in creating awareness of architecture as a profession in southern Tamil Nadu, India. He is founding chairman, Trichy chapter, Indian Institute of Architects. Let us now proceed to architect Shanmugam's presentation.
Friends of fraternity, the academicians, budding architects, students, it's a pleasure to meet you all in this platform, and thanks SRM School of Architecture for giving this opportunity. I'm Shanmugam, an architect passed out from School of Architecture, Chennai, 1971. It was then Madras University, and education system was totally different. There was no calculator. We are given only an algorithm table with which we have to calculate. When I say a calculator, there is no computers, no softwares, nothing to refer, no digital survey. We have to take the chains and convert it into the feet and inches to make the survey. So it was quite a different scenario altogether. And now what I come across now is totally different and much more convenient and much more efficient. Maybe somewhere I was working in present NIT, earlier REC, for about 4-5 years in teaching. The internet was not available. We had to refer only books, and there were not many architects, so I had to go on repeat the same thing for quite a few years, by which I also learned architecture. That's another part of it. But then it got tied up, and once I came out in 1980, I started practicing. Because that town I am settled is Tier 2 town. It's not the metro cities. This city doesn't know much about the architecture and the role of architect in the site. Even the engineers doesn't know, and I have to call myself engineer sometime. And there was no consultants. I have to do the structures, I have to do the quantity surveying, I have to visit the site, and there's no project management. Even HVAC and plumbing, sometimes I have to take decisions by myself. So it was quite tough for quite some time, and somewhere in 90s it was started developing when we get the systems, computers and softwares, and slowly people start migrating towards Trichy from other metro cities. So with this, maybe in 2010, it's become a partnership firm. My son Santosh Shanmugam has studied in US, worked for about 5 years in US, came and joined with me, along with his classmate Rajakrishnan, who is also studied in Bauhaus, worked in UK and joined with us. Then from 2010 onwards, there is a regeneration, and the whole office has been completely changed to contemporary structure. All my drawing boards I have donated to some of the schools, and it all become systems, softwares, and then the space is shrunk, but the quality is increased, and the whole way of working out has become totally different from that of the earlier. I would like to thank SRM School of Architecture, and particularly the Department of, the HOD, Mr. Satish and his team, for the effort they have taken to do an international conference at this pandemic situation, which is quite tough. And perhaps they have a very long-term vision, which is good for the institution, for the people, and for everyone. and I'm very happy to be present at this situation. Theme I have taken today is about the learning spaces. Architecture by itself is the professionally learning process from the beginning till whatever the project we do, every project we learn. But the context here as learning spaces, what I mean is the schools, whatever the schools and colleges we have done, and of which we will showcase one of the schools. In Indian tradition, the schooling is a kind of sacred, kind of noble. It is, if you take the tradition, we had universities like Nalanda and lot of Buddha universities, and then late Sankara in South India, we had Gurukulams. And the Gurukulams where the Guru sits under the tree and the disciples around, and it is being taught vocally. Not much of lyrics were available that time. Perhaps it is there, but it's only speciality. But all this lead to a kind of a noble profession. The Guru is not just a teacher. Guru is beyond a teacher. Next to father, mother, Guru is being the respected person by the student and by the society. So when an architect approaches a school design in this kind of atmosphere, it has to have a serenity. It has to have some emotional bonding between the students, teacher and the parents. There are commercial schools, but when a person comes with a real intention to do something to the society, the architect has to respond in turn by the design of spaces which interacts with the students and the staff. So that is how we approach apart from the usual climatic factors and the massing, the other influences on the local side. This is how we approach on any school design, or rather the learning spaces. We have been approached by a corporate automobile manufacturer called Rane. Rane is a leading automobile spares manufacturer in and around Trichy. They have about 5 units and they are very successful even in these days because they have various parts of manufacturing. And as a corporate social responsibility, they want to sincerely give back something to Trichy, city. And earlier we have done a polytechnic, and from the polytechnic they train people and absorb them in the factory, which is mutually benefited. Now they wanted to go in for a school which is really dedicated to the much lower end of the people, and it has to be CBSE of the highest standard with the lowest fees. With that aim, Rane has approached us. It was quite interesting for us also because the high ethics with which the client which we are getting is very rare nowadays. Mostly the client comes with a return basis of whatever the investment. So one good thing which has happened here is they approach the architects, that is us, even for before the purchase of the land. So before the purchase of the land, we approached Bharatdasan University, and university has taken a survey in and around Trichy, and a survey of the population in that area and the student population, the age group between 0 to 15, and the number of schools which are available in that, and of which CBSE school, and the affordability, and so many other parameters with which they have worked out. And ultimately we identified 3 places. One is Thiruvarambur, which is all our outskirts, nothing to do with the center of the city. One is Thiruvarambur, which is near BHEL factory. The other one is Manachanallur, where we have located now. And then one more is at Lalgudi, of which Lalgudi is a very fertile land. The land cost itself will be very high. So we will not be able to go within that budget. Thiruvarambur, there are quite a few other institutions available, whereas in Manachanallur we find only very little for the students to go for a CBSE because there are only 1 or 2. And this place what we are located for about 10 kilometers around, there is no CBSE school. So we have located that site which is around 4.5 acres, which is not again in the main road. It is in the mid of the village, which is easily approachable by the village people. and it's a clear fat land of about 4.5 acres with which we started the planning. We have started the planning with two major open spaces. One is the running track, which is also a part of the CBSE requirement to have play spaces in the open air. So a running track for which approximately about 1.5 acres of land is being given off. The rest of the building has to be planned as a linear rectangle uh, onto the north and south, but the major site facing east and west. But we took that to our advantage. When we study the breeze direction in Trichy, is more southwest, west, and northeast. So we have made two blocks and segregated into and segmented into blocks, and through the blocks the breeze goes in, and we also given diagonal air tunnels from one end to the other end. And when we are doing the massing, the classrooms are in between the classrooms we are given the garden, and the garden one way gives the deflected light to avoid the direct sunlight from the west and partially east, and also it gives a relief for the students from one to the other. So the whole massing started with fragments of classrooms stocked one above the other, not exactly one above the other, with a stagger and with wind tunnels and light catchment areas through which we get the deflected light. So in the section you can find out the walls are stopped at 8 feet level, and between 8 feet and the roof it's been left open. The idea is for the hot air from the mass assembly has to escape through somewhere. Otherwise, in the regular conventional building, the fan, which rotates from inside, taking the hot air from the ceiling. After some time, the whole area becomes hot, and that's not a very comfortable situation. So we thought we will open up on top so that the hot air will escape by itself. And it's been done for the entire building so that everywhere it is open and the air flows at that level, and the hot air and the radiation could be reduced. But later, due to maintenance, we found the birds menace and then the dirt which is coming through. Of course, we did one mock classroom. We discussed with the academic people, and then I finally arrived at glazing over there and ventilators. The ventilators will be open during the class hours, and the glazing is mainly for deflected light to come through that, because we are given overhangs almost everywhere beyond 4 feet, so 3 to 4 feet. So it is always under shade during the class hours, and we get deflected light through that. We are given garden spaces in the ground floor for the kindergarten people. The garden space and the classrooms are almost the same size, so that anytime the students can go out whenever it's shade, and then there is a relief. Curved walls. This is another thing which we have tried in this project. Like, instead of sharp edges, the entire building is filleted with curved walls, and so that the students doesn't get hit when they are running, as well as it gives a kind of a character every corner, both interior and another concept which we tried here is this is not going to be a regular frame structure where the column and beam and the wall comes above that. The columns are very close to the walls, but we have the walls become independent so that our facade with brick and the horizontal pattern continues without any break, and columns are made curved. So columns are made circular so that it will not be a hindrance to the students when they are breaking out. We have got the central courtyard, which is fenestrated with circular openings, and these circular openings makes a very nice shade pattern inside the courtyard, and the courtyard becomes a kind of a multi-purpose place where people play, where the music goes, and lunch hour day we can see people are eating, and in case of parents meeting, sometimes it happens there, any activity, dancing, it's become so interesting place, and the sunlight moves from morning east to west. That creates a nice pattern. We bought some well rings and placed it over there. in different patterns to create an interesting atmosphere. And further, the connecting bridges are being placed between one to the other, and we have not placed the bridges one above the other. It is again staggered. It's again staggered from one to the other so that it creates an interesting atmosphere that also satisfy the fire norms. The staircases similarly, even though at the entry we have a regular staircase and a lift which is meant for the handicapped, the other staircases inside are quite broad and no staircase is placed one above the other. They will go up to one level, there will be a kind of a landing, and then they will walk few steps and go to the other level. And these staircases and bridges place a visually interesting atmosphere inside. We have done the walls with layers of terracotta bricks which is locally available, and also the fly ash recycled bricks which is locally available. We went to the village around the temples there, and the traditional structures there had layers of construction. Bottom layer with stone, other layer with brick, and then sometimes with lime mortar, and again done with the bricks. So the temples are all done with the bottom layers as stone and the top layer with the brick. So this inspired us to have horizontal layers, and so we used the locally available bricks and created a horizontal pattern, which one way makes it economical, because as I said, the budget is also one of the reasons which we have done it. So we have exposed it, no plastering, no putty, no painting, and even in the long-term maintenance, nothing is needed. So the budget is also met out, and kind of a rugged texture which is formed and linked with the horizontal things, which makes it quite interesting. Now you can see the overall site plan where the ground is on the rear side, the OSR, open space reserved, is in the front, and the linear mass placed in the center. And we have, for the convenience sake, we have made it into two phases. From the entry, you have the first line of security, and after the security, we will have the administration, and from the administration, we will go to the other departments. As you see in the plan, in the ground floor plan, as soon as you enter, on to the left, what you see is the administration, where the principal, vice principal sit. The principal and vice principal rooms are such they can see who is coming in the portico, who is coming over there. And then they have the office and a small conference, and then of course the administrative setup. And after this, a grill gate is being worked out so that the student goes in is completely secured. On the other side of the administration, you have the staff room. On to the left, we have the classrooms and the gardens in between. On to the right extreme, what you see is the library. We have placed another wall in front of the main wall, like two layers, so that the windows could be quite big, and in between the two walls there are greeneries. Originally we wanted to give a water body all around the library. We made it into garden, and it's we have given big windows with a garden and a kind of a lawn, all that a part of the library, so that the kid will always be interested in going to the library. So this is as far as the ground floor concerned. And when it goes to the first floor, the staircase on the front, you have the regular dog leg staircase which takes you to all the floors, along with a lift which is meant for handicapped people. And on to the right, when you enter in, you have a single wide staircase which takes them to the upper floor, and all the classrooms are being tucked one above the other, and with the wind tunnels has been provided in such a way. There are openings in between the classrooms which allows the wind to come in, and also the light, deflected light to come in. I get deflected light, and the fenestrations in the planning in the blocks allows the breeze to come in. And on to the right, on to the third floor also, you can see mostly classrooms. One of the bridges which is connecting both the ends is being made into a staff room. So a staff which is who is sitting there can overlook the entire happenings. When phase 2 comes, that becomes like a watchtower from which the teacher can watch on both ends. Now we will browse through some of the other learning spaces what we have worked out for others. Rane Polytechnic is a ground plus 1 floor structure, that was executed in two phases. The central amenities were located keeping in mind the visual prominence and immediate accessibility. The amenities comprising computer lab, library, and seminar hall have been planned as an island with garden and water bodies. The surrounding classrooms have fenestrations in north and south direction. There are stepped courtyards connecting the levels and also as a congregation points. Considering the tropical climate, ground floor roof slab are extended and vertical piers are placed in front of for shading. The planters have been placed within the vertical piers so that a small garden is there in front of every window. Lush green courtyards and double height shading devices have been introduced in between the built-in forms in Rane Polytechnic. North Star School is a progressive international school located in Rajkot, Gujarat, and sits on the eastern corner of 17.5 acres of barren land. The semi-arid climate and northwest area, dusty yet windy site conditions, 20-30 days of monsoons in Rajkot, and supply of STP water from the abutting RK University were influential in the contextual pointers. The design program was planned to have a single classroom module with cross ventilation and its own privileged garden with an open to sky jolly courtyard. Bella, a natural hard limestone that reflects an institutional character, is economical and available in plenty in the local. Drawing inspiration from the stepped wells of Kotia, Gujarat, the central courtyard ties all the spaces within each module. North Star Nest is a kindergarten campus located in Rajkot in easier proximity to the children. The overall massing had been played with to make this still plus 3-4 building look bigger. The building is wrapped with the horizontal louvers that act as a shading device and bring down the heat. Double height spaces have been introduced at staggered fashion and are interconnected in all the floors. These spaces have been provided with water and informal seating in order to have interactive fun activities rather. The last roof has alphabet cut out in the ceiling so that kids from the elder classes appreciate and understand the shadow play. Focusing on sensory perception, colorful handmade cement tiles have been introduced in the classroom floors and in the common areas. We have also done some more institutions, colleges, and also other type of educational institutions. You are welcome to browse through our website to know more about us. With this, I thank SRM School of Architecture for the great effort and for the opportunity given to me at international level. And definitely it's a prestige to the hard work what we have been doing for the 40 years. And for the youngsters, it's very encouraging for the youngsters to be more enthusiastic, to prove themselves, not only at the national level, at the international level. We would like to participate in any competition also. Thank you. Thank you for all.
Thank you, Architect Shanmugam sir, for your presentation. Now we shall take a short break for our sponsor video.
Epoxy adhesives are widely used in the industry because of their high strength, chemical resistance, and the ability to adhere to different surfaces. But almost all of them have low impact strength and low UV resistance, which makes them weak after long-term use, under stress and limitations. To combat all these issues, we are introducing Bondtite Pro. Bondtite Pro is a high-performance two-component multi-use new generation epoxy adhesive system with room temperature curing. It has very high impact strength, excellent shear strength, better UV resistance, better coverage, and so much more. And it is to be used for bonding various similar and dissimilar materials such as metals, ceramics, wood, leather, rubber, marble, glass, and a lot of other materials. Bondtite Pro is very easy to use. The directions to use are really simple. Step 1. Clean the surface and make sure it is free of dust, unsound material, loose plaster, oil, paint, grease, algae, and corrosion deposits. Step 2. Take equal quantity of part A and part B. Step 3. Mix it for 1 minute with the help of Bondtite applicator to attain uniform color. Step 4. Apply on the surface. Step 5. Clamp or support the surface for 4 hours. It will attain full strength in 24 hours. And that's all there is to it. You can use it for speakers, marble pasting, automobile repair, and hardwood handicraft. Bondtite Pro.
While renovating my house, I realized that furniture fittings are more important than furniture aesthetics. That's why I trust EPCO for all furniture hardware. EPCO, simplifying lives.
EPCO, simplifying lives.